You're not the only ones who have a lot to say. The crowd's been saying quite a lot too, my dear Halberd. I know it's quite deadened there, but there's quite a crowd out here. And they've made quite a lot of noise. Quite a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
What is going on? Nobody expected this. WRG falling short.
Well, we did say, I think you said that if there's a team that might be able to find the weaknesses, the chinks in the armor, it's going to be XTC, having played the most games against WRG in recent memory. It seems they found it. They found that you pressure WRG early. You do not allow them to play their style of Dota. And if you do that, you just keep doing it, never stop doing it. And then you find yourself in a situation where even WRG didn't look like they could do anything. If your game doesn't get off to any type of start, if you're not allowed to play Dota, then you just get steamrolled and you lose. You get racked at 24 minutes, second racked at 27, and then the game is over before you know it.
I mean, they had a lot of their comfort heroes, didn't they, as well? And I think WRG also drafted for the early game and didn't expect to get so steamrolled. I mean, with their draft, it seemed like they had it, they had the stronger draft. It was just like they just got steamrolled by XTC. Yep. There's just no space created for them. And I mean, Jadawi, for me, this game really underperformed on the Earthshaker. But again, he didn't really have space.
The effectiveness of that Winter Wyvern up against the Lycan?
Jeez, man, that's
stunning.
But that's what we said as well. We're like, okay, well, Winter Wyvern really good against Lycan. Then we saw the Enigma. What was really weird for me is to see the Night Stalker offlane and the Enigma support. But it worked. It worked.
So
it worked. It worked. But also, I was expecting there's no way he's going to get a decent black hole off, not against WG, and he got a few.
Yeah.
It's just...
The great thing for me about how XTC played this game, right, is the way they would use their ultimates, they wouldn't use their ultimate simply to secure the team fight. They would use ultimate and take a tower while doing it. As the ultimate is over, then they leave. Like, how many times did we see Lycan get caught in a black hole or caught inside a Winter's Curse while he's in the Lycan form, and then he can't do anything, completely useless for that duration of time. And then when he comes out, sure, he has fight, he's inside BKB mode, he can do something, but now it's too late. You've already lost a tower, you've lost maybe 2 or 3 teammates, and it was... This was beautiful, Dota.
It was beautiful. And I was waiting for him then to throw. I will admit that. I was like, they're going to throw. Something's going to happen. WG is going to win. And it didn't happen. They just barreled down. I think it was, what 27 minutes, GG?
Well,
27, 28?
That's actually a good question.
It was just they just got steamrolled. And I mean, we have to swallow our words, guys.
Oh no, I'm very happy to be
I'm very happy as well. I just I did not expect it.
Their words.
I did not expect it. Honestly, I mean, as Devin stated, not a caster, not a panelist, not a spectator would ever have expected this to happen. And
since WRG lost to Bravado 3-2, in literally the last time Bravado played on any tournament, WRG has not lost 2 games back to back. Since then, to anybody. So this was the first. This was literally history being made, and why not more?
Yeah.
Why not an XTC win?
Well, from the panelists swallowing their words to a man who never swallows his words, off to Gareth.
Thanks, Nick. You're setting me up for a failure there if I ever swallow.
There we
go. All part of the plan. Just an announcement, obviously, to the crowd. The expo is closing at 6 o'clock, but obviously the Dota action is going to go well after that. So make sure you are comfortable, well fed, and bladders are empty because it's going to be an absolute crack as we go into Game 5. But remember, the expo does close at 6 o'clock. Over back to the panel.
Thanks, Gareth. And I don't know what else to say here. I mean, XTC, is it a matter of XTC just playing better than WRG? Or is it a matter of WRG having a terrible day?
I just think no one's really contested WRG quite like XTC for a long time. I mean, they haven't...
They've been winning overseas.
They've been winning overseas. I mean, I don't think they really expected that. And XTC have literally zoned in and focused on their one true rival, and it seems like they figured them out.
Also, it feels like to me that XTC has been out drafting WRG overall. They've been drafting primarily to their strengths, exactly to what they're capable of doing, how they're able to win games, and they've been doing it. Like game 1, the one that they lost, even that game wasn't that kind of situation where you're saying, okay, XTC clearly lost in every aspect of the game. There's very specific reasons why they lost. They fixed that, and they fixed how they drafted. It feels like they're playing their Dota that they want to play. Win, lose, or draw. And it's winning. It's working. Putting WFG on pressure. Not allowing them to actually snowball off the mid lane. Like, the one thing that they kept doing in this game, even though Adestam was playing in the safe lane as Nature's Prophet, as often as humanly possible, would TP mid. Even if he doesn't get that much damage out on the tower, would TP somewhere across the map, do something, put WRG on constant threat.
Yeah.
There's very few times we saw this game that WRG took a fight on their terms. They were always reacting.
Yeah, always reacting to something that XTC was doing, definitely. And it was an unconventional, not unconventional drafting, but unconventional placement, and where you saw what heroes you saw playing, getting taken up by a dust. I mean, have we ever seen a dust in Nature's Prophet ever? No.
We've seen it before, like a couple of times.
No, but I mean like
ages
ago, and not in the recent lands. I haven't seen that come out. And I mean, putting a Night Stalker on a solo offlane, that's something we don't see. If we support Enigma, we don't see that either. So it's just like they made the draft work for them. Because WRG, for me, on paper, when you look at those heroes, you feel like they have the better draft, especially to snowball in the early game. And somehow,
I think also they had, as the game went on, it became clear and clear how few answers they had for the sniper.
Yes,
like there was
the
just
sniper, there was just can't do anything.
Every single time that they'd go on him, right, all it would take would be one freeze coming out from the Winter Wave and protect you, get all your health back, and then you're like, oh, okay, fine. Like, a lot of our damage can kill you, but we have to actually commit super hard to get to that point where we can burst you down. And the rest of XTC won't really allow us to do that. It was magnificent. I've actually been a while since I saw WRG manhandled like this. They were controlling every aspect of the game.
Well, the last time I saw them manhandled like this was when they lost at the mall event to BVD.
Yeah, they won 2 games in a row, and BVD came back with literally 3 games back to back against them. It's the last time I saw anything like this happen to WRG, and I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you might get outdrafted,
I'm asking this question, but what do you do if you're sitting on the side of WRG? What do you do?
I think one of the weaknesses that we have seen from the way WRG draws, right, is that they've been very often either they all in on the early game or they try and just stabilize in the mid game and just crush you there, right? But they haven't necessarily been paying that much attention to the pure laning phase.
Yeah.
And I think that's something they're going to have to address here. Normally they rely on their players being good enough.
So the late game. They have to rely more on securing that late game, because in the first game they didn't have any late game. Like as we saw, they struggled against the mega creeps. They didn't have the conventional late game heroes. This game they focused more on the early game, and they didn't have. Well, the game ended in the early game, but they just got steamrolled because XTC adjusted their draft to, accordingly. But I think they need to secure a proper late game situation, or
is it all in the draft here? Because I would literally just say ban pizza and you've won.
Ban pizza and you've won. Sorry, Adam, you can't have pizza anymore. But it's not just that. Like, I think they really, really, really do need to just get into a draft where they can't get steamrolled like that again. Because, I mean, Lycan's just one of those heroes. You either do really well with him or you just get really behind. It's really hard for a Lycan to make a comeback.
Yeah, we saw there was one push at top where Lycan was trying to sort of defend the tower, but he knew for a fact that if nobody on the WRG side could come in to support and be a threat around the towers, most of the time all they can do is sort of delay the pushes, but it was very hard for them to actually get in on top of the fight. So I think the challenge for WRG is that even the game they won was somewhat of a reactive game. I think they need to be a lot more proactive in the draft, proactive in how they play the game, and just do more WRG things. When we're used to normally seeing Santo and Schlinks in the very early game smoking around, trying to make as many moves as possible.
Exactly.
Like even in the first game that they won with the SF, at minute 0, there was a gank that XTC tried to do. They were right by the tier 2 tower trying to get that early first blood. Now, it didn't necessarily work out, but that's the type of play style they've been going for, putting WRG under massive pressure. And clearly WRG is very uncomfortable with it. So if they can change tax and be the ones applying the pressure towards the XTC lineup to begin with.
Yeah, less babysitting. Like, I feel like they were just scared to leave Whelp or leave Castaway in the lane, because things were happening to them. They were kind of like stuck between which lane do we help and which lane do we defend. We're going to lose 2 lanes automatically anyway. So which lane do we save?
I have one question. You used to be in a team.
Yes.
And you've suffered losses like this before.
Yes.
Now, if you were sitting in WRG's booth, I wonder what could be running through their minds. They're basically uncontested champions.
I think that's also the
For
problem.
some time now, and suddenly they've lost not 1 but 2. You can excuse 1. Oh, we did a silly draft mistake. Oh, Wilson asked us to do something stupid. You can excuse 1, but not 2. What's going through their minds at the moment? Do you think there's a little bit of shaking?
I think the first game not necessarily tilted them, but they were like, okay, well now we just need to win this game now, and they drafted like that. They drafted to win early, and unfortunately that turned on them. But for me, what I would do, secure early, mid, and late. Rotate more with your supports. Don't be scared.
Well, WRG certainly doesn't strike me as the scared team as we pile on into this draft now.
It's just, yeah, it's
But
a problem.
they certainly should be shaking in their boots after this. And I was certainly, I don't know. I suddenly don't know.
No, but it's such a sad. I just feel like WG have been somewhat uncontested for such a long time. I feel like they kind of forgot that there are teams that can actually beat them.
That's that overconfidence that I was talking about.
Overconfidence.
Coming into the fray. I think Tusk needs to be the hero for WRG.
Yeah.
Like they didn't necessarily seem very comfortable with that Rasta in their lineup.
Yeah.
Those kind of strats, I don't know. I feel like WRG fare a lot better when they try to fight more so than when they take pure objectives.
Yeah, immediate first ban on the
Night Stalker.
Possibly a little bit of respect after that performance from XTC.
You don't let that through the
He was
pool on
running around.
average.
He was controlling that fight. He controlled the pickoffs that happened as a result of a fight.
And that's
It also
Skynet.
gives them the option to go for the Keeper of the Light. But I really do think like you need to fight if you're WRG.
Yeah.
Because that's why there were things weren't necessarily
There we
breaking. Like, Spirit Breakers, Tusk, these sort of heroes that just get in on the enemy's face. And like this might be a game where we see Chinawe play something different. I don't think the Earthshaker is really working for them as a team. It feels like the pace that the hero sets in the early game, it takes a while before it really gets going, before it actually gets the ability to move out with the Blink Dagger. So like that Bat Rider game seemed a lot closer to what I would want WRG to be playing rather than them going for the Earthshaker. But now Cuddle is still available for XTC. They can decide to go for that.
Yeah.
But also, like the beautiful thing about how XTC has been playing is they picked, I think, entirely different heroes in the games that they won, which means that their pool of drafting is completely open. They can do pretty much whatever they want here as long as they do something that they draft around WRG. So XTC have a little bit of freedom to be reactive themselves, expecting WRG to try and throw them off kilter now.
Yeah, I really do feel that way. I mean, XTC that we're used to seeing is very small hero pools, and you expect to see certain things come out from them. And the fact that they are doing new things, you know, especially like maybe one or two, but they've been doing completely new things right now. It's a different XTC we see here today. And they haven't revealed this earlier in the tournament, which is even more impressive.
Yes.
And we have an IO.
First IO of the tournament, I believe.
Now, this game will determine who is our champion.
We had Rockley play IO the other day. Yeah.
And they're going to bring out IO.
Tanking.
It's something completely unknown.
But it's
completely
such,
unseen in
it's
this
such a good
tournament,
hero.
other than once, actually.
Yeah,
Did come out with
Rockley.
Was it Rockley?
Yes.
Yes, they ran an
Rockley
IO Bristle combination.
Yeah, Rockley is one of the best
And
IOs in SA.
unfortunately-
So yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. Ended up losing that game under the banner of
Unfortunately,
X.
yeah. But they did have a Luna though, which is no longer good.
But this gives them so many options with what they want to be running. So this shows up their laning phase, right? For XTC, it's much harder for them to actually get flat out. Even if they have one of the, like, let's say they have a bad mid lane matchup, right? Or even a bad safe lane, off lane matchup. This can show them up. You to rotate in the IO. It keeps somebody alive. It stops the Spirit Breaker from feeling free to just charge on anybody and guarantee a kill. So I think there was one game where we saw, was it Sinister 5, the game that they played with Enchantress. The one thing that we saw, the reason why they weren't able to complete that game is because whenever they'd go in for a rotation towards any lane, there would always be Spirit Breaker that would come charge in and stop you from getting additional kills into tower objectives. IO does the same thing, but against Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. There's comes out the Silencer now. We haven't seen, he's known as like the dreaded pub game hero, but he hasn't had that much of a success rate in the lands.
Thus far, he's 50% so far. So.
Yeah, he's 50%, but I mean, he's been picked, what, 6-7 times now?
6 times, yeah, last 3 games.
Yeah. So I mean, he's not, it's either make or break hero, I guess, but I mean, it is an annoying hero. No one likes playing against a Silencer, and that ultimate, I mean, just placed at the right time.
This is a make or break moment.
Yeah, it is.
Just everyone keep this in mind. Whoever wins this walks away with the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all or nothing.
This is
you
literally
either win or you go home.
And Silencer is one of those heroes that can win you an all or nothing game. If the enemy team isn't necessarily prepared for fighting underneath Global Silence, you pop that, you immediately burst their main carry hero or their mid-tempo controller, and then you roll over them, take towers, take objectives. It's one of those heroes that forces the enemy team to consider how you want to start fights. So usually when you play Sand King, you want to play as ultra aggressively as possible. But if there's a Silencer, as soon as he hits 6, you have to consider when is he going to pop it. It's kind of like when you play against Enigma. It's not always the global itself, it's the threat of the global that can stop you from trying to be proactive in how you approach fights.
I'm just wondering what they're going to combo up here with this IO now, because they have banned out this Sven in anticipation as well.
I think IO is good enough. Like, it's decent enough that you can just run it with, like, whatever.
You can run it with whatever, but it does work well with certain heroes. Like, you know, it does.
I did say Tiny earlier. I
No,
don't
but
think it's gonna be the
Tiny's
case,
dead.
but
Tiny's
I
dead.
did say
no.
Tiny at some point.
They could potentially do it, but I mean, there is just better heroes at the moment than Tiny, I feel. I don't know if you agree with me, Snare.
Yeah, I don't like Tiny.
Io
in general.
Bristle? Are they going to take a page out of XD's book?
I think this is probably the Sand King for the offlane. But then, I don't know if they. I just don't feel like Bristleback suits the type of playstyle
Yeah.
that XTC want to go for. You want either
Okay.
team fight control or you want major burst damage. Bristleback doesn't necessarily have either. Like
yeah.
you have to play the slow, lumbering form of control game, which is not necessarily good for their style of lineup.
Yeah.
So I think now we'll see if this is going to be support Sand King or not. I don't think they want to reveal their cause just yet until they see more of what WRG are trying to do.
Interesting
Yeah,
bands.
Bad
You've got
Rider,
Sven
so-
and Ursa.
Yeah, Ursa IO is pretty good. It's like it allows, normally IO has, or Ursa has a lot of issues being kited around, but if you have the IO tethering up, you're getting that bonus movement speed, you can actually stick on heroes and
Yeah.
kill them. Also one of those heroes that doesn't necessarily care about being global. He's like, if he's already got his spells out, he's like, whatever. And he just jumps on you and tries to do what he needs to do anyway. I like this Bad Rider. Also, it denies it away from WRG. So I think it's one of their more successful offlaners. So now maybe Axe Omni is the thing that's running. LC as well comes out.
Okay, Legion, interesting choice.
Super good,
not-
though. Super good.
Sorry?
It's super good.
Why?
I mean, you've got an IO that's a pretty easy target, right? And then whoever they send there, you can just ulti one, and then, you know, they don't always... It's just like, it's such a good laner as well. I mean...
Do you feel that perhaps leaves them vulnerable in the late game? If she doesn't get a rolling start, quite a few dual
No, because
victories?
you're going to secure now with your... You're going to secure it now with your carry and your mid heroes. But I mean, Legion's your backup, right? And it's good in lane. It does control the pace of the game, especially if it gets a lot of deals off. And IO is essentially vulnerable. It's a very squishy hero. I mean, yes, it's got tether, it can get away, but there's not much to save it if it gets dueled by a Legion commander and there's no backup.
I'm kind of worried about this LC pick though. It feels a little bit all in from WRG, so they want to be able
They
to
have
like
to do that, though.
jump, duel somebody, you global silence, get that insta kill.
Yeah.
But then IO could relocate somebody out. Sand King, you set yourself up to be properly
You
initiated
can,
on.
you can
be
relocate
lassoed.
out, yes. But I mean, if he jumps the IO, what
If
do?
he jumps the IO.
What
But
do?
oh god,
Razor.
Oh, I love Razor.
Okay,
This is a
so
great pick versus a Legion as
yeah,
well.
if you start dueling the IO and then Razor's like, okay, cool, I'll just zap your damage. You're not going to win anything. Yeah, it's going to be rough. And Razor's actually something that they tend to ban as well.
This hero is actually going to be unkillable this game. Like
Yeah.
if IO tethers Razor, it's super hard to bring this hero down. Very hard. Like right now, they don't have actually any damage on WRG. Like they're relying a lot on their control factor to be able to bring down the fight. So I think they were depending on their last two picks, being heroes that can actually bring out forth that burst damage. Because right now, even if they duel somebody, right, none of these heroes actually die, with the exception of maybe the IO himself.
Yeah.
But no one else actually dies underneath the duel if there's no global silence. So they need the damage. They
And
need
they do
power
need the
here.
damage, but I mean, also Legion does tend to get those blade mills, you know, blink blade mill, that type of thing. So, but definitely not on her own. And I suppose that's where the Spirit Breaker comes in as well. You can get some extra damage from him. But yeah, it's not an easy duel, by no means.
comes.
Here we go, and Weaver.
Weaver.
It's interesting.
We saw this
It's interesting.
yesterday.
Yeah.
XTC actually were the ones that ran this Weaver versus the offlane Bad Rider.
Yeah.
It was okay. It did fine. It didn't necessarily get brought down. And one of the reasons why Bad Rider was doing so well versus the Weaver was because of the Tusker. This game, there's no Tusk.
There's no Tusk.
So
It's quite effective. It can lane pretty easily against Bat Rider, I feel like. Weaver's not bad. But it's also just one of those risky picks. It is a risky pick.
decent-ish versus Razor. Like you drop Swarm on him. One of the things that makes Razor very hard to kill has a nice armor progression.
Yeah,
So
he does.
at least if your right clicks do something more. And also, any one of these other heroes that get dueled now will actually die underneath the duel thanks to the negative armor debuff
Yeah.
from the Swarm.
The Swarm, and he inevitably picks up a Desolator as well, so that helps.
So
It's gonna, it's like it's a risky pick, but it's also it makes sense. Like I can see why.
XTC, what do they want for the safe lane here? What's the add-on here that's gonna tie everything together? We've seen they've actually played a very wide array of heroes. They played Juggernaut, they've played Troll, they just played Nature's Prophet, they've played Weaver. Did they play Void? Was it no? That was APG.
No, that was APG,
that played
yeah.
Faceless Void in the safe lane. That
Yeah.
actually wouldn't be terrible here. Like I wouldn't mind necessarily seeing a Faceless Void.
Or to catch the Weaver out.
Just it's good against the Weaver. It's really hard for the Legion commander to lane
Yeah.
up against the Faceless Void. If you go for at least 1 point in the time dilation, no matter what she does to you, if you just time walk out and hit her, then she's just forced out of lane entirely.
Yeah,
You
but
drop the time dilation.
she's pretty sustainable in lane as well with her heal and lifesteal. But yeah, avoid won't be bad, but I wouldn't think that XTC would actually pick it. And they could run this as a mid Razor, not a safe lane Razor.
It looks like White Rabbit Gaming think that this is a safe lane Razor.
It looks like a safe lane, I'm saying, but they could change their mind last minute. They have that option because Razor is, you can put a mid and be fine.
I feel like
I want to dual lane him with the IO.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
I mean, you can even leave Razor alone.
You can leave Razor alone. He's fine on his own. Like we said, he has high armor. He shouldn't be harassed that much.
Okay.
He's also got a passive.
Final pick.
Puck.
Stayed in the pool. It's bound to come out. It's a puck.
Pick Puck. Wow, I'm very surprised that it got.
I suppose Castaway Ember's been banned. I mean, you've got TA's been banned.
And they banned the gyrocopter.
I would have honestly expected to see something like the Ursa IO, the Sven IO, that type of thing. But I mean, it also now I see like it has been banned as well. So
you can play Razor versus Puck though. Like it's not the worst thing in the world. It's a bit tricky though because of the Spirit Breaker. It kind of changes things up. Like in the 1v1, Puck Razor is actually decent for the Razor, but now with Spirit Breaker, you kind of have to do something else. Yeah, OD rather mid.
Okay. Oh, that feels like a sucker punch. I don't know about you. Okay, say nothing more. I'm going to go off book here. Quick predictions, just one word. WG or XTC?
XTC.
XTC, okay. WG, XTC.
I feel like WG.
Just one word.
Oh, I can't. It's too much pressure. It really is. Like, fine, let's do this.
Yeah. XTC. Crowd, WG or XTC? Let's hear it. Sounds good to me. Well, the crowd is ready. We are ready. We've got 2 XTCers sitting on the panel and plenty of WGers on the floor. Let's see where the game takes us. Hellbird, take it away.
Oh, you guys didn't ask us. I mean, Jackie, Reigns, do you want to make a prediction who's going to win this one?
Not really. Do you want to make a prediction?
I feel like we go against the panel. I just keep things interesting. We've got 2 XTCers on the panel,
yeah.
2 WG guys in the game, but really can go either way here. I do think that this is going to be fantastic either way. I mean, the tournament going all the way to the maximum amount of games here. We've seen some truly fantastic Dota throughout the series, and I think this is the kind of final that this deserved. Will it be WG, defending champions, guys who managed to topple one of the greatest sides we've ever seen in South Africa? Will it be XTC, who have pretty much been, they've been second places the entire tournament, so the entire year, and maybe this time they finally get to beat WG, and what a way it would be. I mean, WG did this to Bravado last year. They picked the right one to win. Maybe XTC have done the same, but of course, you have to get through some pretty scary WG players first.
Yeah, with XTC potentially to become the reigning champions for this finals, it's, I don't know, I really don't want to say anything because the Costa curse is real. We've expected a last game as well, so let's see how it goes from here. I mean, once again, XTC guys, they didn't smoke up this time, so probably just going to play a little bit differently on the Radiant side, but, well, let's see how it goes. I mean, once again, we have the Puck, and really, Chidawi is not playing an Earthshaker this game.
It's going to be a crack either way. Like, so let's see how this all pans out. So both these sides at the moment pretty relaxed, not going into any real aggressive stances just yet, just checking out their ruins. But man, let's go wait for this game to actually start.
It starts, well, it's pretty passive. We used to see for the first couple of games where XTC actually, went towards more aggressively, smoked in, tried to get some wards on the other side of jungle, but it's actually WRG that does that this game.
Understand? He's found himself into quite an interesting position here. Will be re-engaged on by Santo as well as Wolf. Stand up here. I am very curious as to how he plans to get out of this. I don't think he does. He's going to fall down here, and WG will pick up that first blood pretty easily in the end. That aggressive invasion of the opposing jungle. Yeah,
that was a nice one. Adestam had the ward in the lane at the bottom lane, but eventually getting into the jungle, Slinks and his friends just getting the Dire ward in aggressively, and then eventually taking the Soul core player, it's the carry Razor there. It's a nice one for the WG. Good start for them.
In fact, it's the first time they've gotten first blood in this so far, I think. So they will be happier to be on the board first time around. Chidawi going to the top lane now. He's dealing with Adestam. He does in fact have a lot of his attack damage rained out. Bottom lane though, Anto going to charge through everybody. He's going on a trip to the top lane, I assume.
It's to Deppy actually in the mid lane, sitting on 380 HP. I don't think anything is going to happen from here though, but Santo, he likes to play aggressive Dota, right? He's going to sacrifice himself with some HP loss due to the tier 1 mid tower, but it's worth the sacrifice. This actually gives Castaway the free farm that he's going to take every last hit in the mid lane so
Bottom
far.
lane, they're going to re-engage Ishidawi though. They will get the Burrow Strike up here. Ishidawi very, very low. Should be able to be run down here. And one more hit required comes out from Scarnet. Revenge taken for the previous fallen comrade.
Yeah, so first the Razor, first blood. Now it goes towards Shidawi on that Legion Commander. It's all right. It's a nice little compensation for XTC, but with that, no, they can go. They can keep farming now, especially Adestam. You know, up there in
Santa
top
could be
lane.
in trouble here. He actually went for the gang on top lane, but Dota spotted it out and TP'd up immediately, backing up Adestam. So in the end, he's going to be able to just walk out of harm's way, but he was certainly looking for some sort of engagement on the top lane onto Adestam here, and he will find him again. Adestam heading over, going to try to pull this neutral pack over towards Creep Wave, but Santo immediately there to block that pull.
The tough one. Adestam, Razor on the off lane. It's a bit tough. The last hits, I've certainly got 2 last hits so far, compared to the Weaver on the other side, which is the Dire side, and then Puck leading it with 13 last hits. I mean, it's really early in the game, but can't really have Adestam not farming. It's just it's not the playstyle of XTC.
I mean, that is a very fair point. Adestam has been notorious for his last hitting capabilities in the past. In fact, generally has been considered over all time one of those guys who perform best in the 4 protects 1 kind of draft. But bottom lane, they are going, excuse me, top lane, they are doing in fact engage onto Adestam here. Quite a bit of damage coming out. Doom Bunny in the eye will try to help out the friend. Don't die. Try to drive the perfect barrier strike. Will get 2 of the 3, but unfortunately not able to save his buddy. In the end, another kill goes the way of WRG. But top lane, Scarnet actually finding himself in quite a good position to deal with Shidawi. He's going to try to get out of there with press the attack, but just running down the Bat Rider in that firefight. He doesn't care much for it. Adestam comes in though, will get a little bit of damage off as well, and then just return back to farming.
Yeah, nice rotation, just not enough damage output to take Chidawi down once again. Chidawi's going to rotate to the top lane. I think that Wap and his friends wants to start taking a fight from here. I mean, the supports of the XTC is really low at this moment. In levels.
I hear you. Top lane, don't die. I think he missed the Barrow Strike there, just caught the end of that. Let's take quite a bit of a beating for his efforts. Mid lane though, they do in fact re-engage here on deck. The stun comes through from Santo. Trying to bring down the Astral was actually used aggressively onto the Puck, so potentially able to get the kill. The Castaway didn't have the illusory all cooldowns, so not able to follow up.
Yeah, see some rotations coming in for XTC as well, with Adam going to bottom lane solo. So it's probably going to try to go against Welp, who's also rotated at bottom. So 1v1, position 1.
Why not? Why not? I mean, we've reached this point in the tournament. May as well have an opportunity for these guys all just battle up against their opposite number. Would be quite a fitting end for all. Adestam knows he's being charged. He's being charged by a pretty distant stand, so he's going to take a pretty long time to get there.
Yeah, a level 1 charge. But, you know, he doesn't know exactly where he is. And right now there are, Slinks is in the jungle, Spur Breakers, oh, okay, it's cancelled it. So I thought he was actually going to dive into the tower.
And I think it's more just an opportunity to get through and probably just irritate Razor. Top lane, Shidawi versus Scarnet once more. Let's have the press back table, we'll use it as well, gets rid of a couple of those sticky napalm charges, but Scarnet actually wants a piece of this. Seems pretty keen to run down Shidawi, who will get back to the safety of his tower for the time being.
Yeah, he can dive in, it's alright. I mean, it's just going to go by waiting a few seconds for the Tranquil Boots to be off cooldown once again. Deppy being charged in the mid lane though, I'm not sure he realizes as Santo hits him at the tower. Orb comes up for the Puck. Nice imprisonment over there, just timely not putting damage, but actually got damage from there.
Great stun from Don't Die as well. It's not going to be enough to save the OD, and Dream Call comes up from Costa as well. Doom Bunny low, they're going to pick up the 3 here. WRG have had enough of being bullied by the XTC squad and find the perfect way in. 3 kills in the mid lane. Yeah, very happy with that.
Yeah, that was a nice heal with the bottle for the Spirit Breaker as well. Castaway sacrificing his little bit of a regeneration for him.
Fortunately, we will see it again as well, so you can check it out there. Brain second stroke.
I actually thought that the orb did not hit OD, but I didn't see it properly though. But with that, OD being so low and the Dream Coil being cast there on afterwards as well, works out really well for WRG. Now sitting on 5 kills and 1 only for XTC.
Of course, got a 2 curse from Halberd. Bottom lane, Addisdam, of course, being threatened quite heavily in the bot lane during the replay, and will be run down by Whelp as well with the Sakuchi, and it's not over yet. As Scarlet's Batrider also takes a bit of a beating. Whelp wants more. He wants blood, and Santo and friends are just attaching to Scarlet. He does a good job in dealing a lot of damage, but in the end, it's not enough to pick up any of the kills. Santo does want to get out of there as quickly as possible, though, because Addisdam is on his way back. Yeah.
Once again, it's worked out really well. The rotations are there, and Santo getting that level 2 on the Charge of Darkness increased. He's just made sure he got the kill. Worked out really well for WRG, and they're going strong now. 43 lost hits, by the way, for Castaway, compared to OD's 18.
And in fact, also just trying up as well. So even the damage that they took is just completely negated. It's working out very nicely. The timing on this is what's so exceptional. WRG looking a little bit more like the previous results, and a very big lead. I want to point out they have 4K ahead very early on. Santo, not done though. He wants more action. He's going to start charging towards the bottom lane, where we already see Addisdam very, very low. The charge is going to connect nicely. The Swarm going to be perfect vision, and they're doing a bit of deforestation in this bot lane, making it a little bit easier, in fact, to kill this Addisdam Razor. And he is in trouble. He's sitting on 17 CS at 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And being pretty much bullied by the WG lineup at the moment.
And it's not over. Chidawi being aggressive here, and the Sandstorm comes in for Dodendai in the top lane. There are rotations though. IO wants something out of this. It doesn't look like they're willing to fight. Not enough damage output for Chidawi.
Do in fact hear the sounds of press attack, but I don't think Chidawi is too keen.
Charge once again on Depi mid.
We're going to have 2 fights going on. They will in fact engage first into Depi, so we'll follow that. Dream Call comes out. Depi once again Astral. Once again TP Sport coming in. Castaway going to try to get out of harm's way, and is able to do so for the time being. But on the back lines, they are trying to take down Santo. Scarlet, Batrider, going to use the Firefly. Charge comes from Santo. Going to go all the way through and get Burrow Strike beautifully by XTC's. Dodendai flanking, and they pick up a nice kill there. But beautifully scouted by Dodendai to pick that one up.
Yeah, that's something that XTC desperately needs right now. Taking down Santo, though, if they only got the puck, would have been, something much more important. But they should just, be satisfied with what they got.
It's going to be XTC's turn.
Castaway has haste.
He's actually interested in this when he goes up into the high ground. We'll find out as again. The charge is also connected. Castaway losing a lot of his damage, but of course, being a puck, far more reliant on the magic kill capabilities. They're going to get the stun through. The Barrow Strike's good, but Santo realizes too soon. Backs off before getting caught out.
Yep.
Does cause a pretty hefty rotation though from XTC. And that's allowed a lot of time for the likes of Whelp in the bot lane just to keep pressure pushing down in this bottom lane.
It's also farming very nicely. I mean, going towards that Lincoln Sphere. It's still really early in the game. Didn't expect him to get it anytime soon, but Whelp getting that free farm and also getting that 1 kill earlier as well, it just helps him so much. 10 kills in 9 minutes. It's a pretty active game.
Yeah, the net worth lead as well, got to be said, is it's quite big. XTC really would have had their tails up going into this, but this is going to start sowing the seeds of doubt.
Going to get vision sometime for their own jungle for XTC. They need to open the space up for Addisdam to farm up from here, and right now it's not looking too well. He's actually going for the Hands of Midas, and in this situation it would work out really well. I mean, he needs to catch up with that gold. It's one way to do it.
Desperate times. I guess you want to hold out the long game. Then
another charge coming in.
Once again, Santo is all over Depi. They've put a lot of pressure on him, but Dodendai had enough of this. Once again involved and help out his buddy. You can see a lot of pressure being placed the one way. Castaway almost hasn't had as much pressure because he's been responding, the response has been to the pressure created by Santo for the most part. And you can see it in the last hit. At the moment he is top of the board at 66. Once again, middle lane, Depi charging. They're going to get the side inside as well. No actual possibility this time. TP comes in from Doom Bunny, but in the end that's really just going to be an opportunity for him to get some experience, trying to get a little bit of farm. Not so much farm, but certainly the level 6 that he's most interested in on that IO. And he does need to find it, because he is, in fact, one of the lowest heroes in the game. In fact, the single lowest hero in the game. Very, very far off the mark. Even the Silence is sitting at level 5 at the moment.
What's different about this game is that XTC is not getting control in the early game. I mean, WRG is just all over the map, and that's the first big spirit breaker that makes the huge difference at this moment. Rotations coming in, there are 3 heroes for XTC. I think they're going to try and make a plan to take down Castaway for the first time.
Castaway having a really great time.
Charge up there, Dota and Die could be in trouble here. Santa realizes there's vision and just backs off immediately.
So, bottom lane, once again, Hastags trying to hold out, but this tower very, very low. Should be brought down. Don't think you'll really want to go in for the deny just yet. There's that siege creep beating down on this tower, so it will be a little bit of a interesting play here. Does Wolf go for it? Does he back off? He does have the IO in support as well. I think he's going to play this one out.
Adam's just really low at this moment as well. Welp tries to be more aggressive. He has ultimate. Tries to get the tower down as low as possible, but meanwhile does not want Addiston to deny this at least. Staying at the bottom lane, no charge mid. I think, yeah, as you said, Sansa is just putting so much pressure towards Depi right now, and that just never happened for the first 2, or the second and third game. It makes a huge difference.
We do in fact manage to get the tower, and it's a 2 tier 2 down. On the side of WG very, very early on. They're going to charge through on Skarnet as well. He doesn't have a lot of mana. He does have a couple of magic wands. In fact, he used them. Only has the 1 magic wand charge. He's going to be brought down. They're going to get the first duel as well. Shidawi laps that one up. TP also cancelled. WRG 10-2 up in this third and final, or rather fourth and final matchup here. Of course, having the 1 game advantage. They needed to win 2.
Yeah, that's the main difference right now. I mean, WRG, oh, by the way, taking down the mid tower, solo by Castaway. Yeah, they just lacked the early game control in the previous 2 games, and you know they're just working it out perfectly for this one. You know, XTC has the vision in his own jungle. It's like it's barely anything right now. They don't know where Puck is. There might be rotations. They're forcing out the top tier 1 tower, and that's it. Another tower gone in the span of 2 minutes.
Let's take a quick peek at the actual XP stat as well, because I think that's also pretty telling. At the moment, over 4k for WG. They are in a monstrously powerful lead. They're going to go in here with the duel onto this very unfortunate back right. It falls down again. They want more. Doom Buddy also in the fray. They're going to get a massive Barret strike though, and that also came equipped, I believe, with a Blink Dagger as well. So he is ready to rumble. Sid Sanking goes forward, does in fact blink forward off the Santa, charges back and gets up with a piece of double stone, but will fall down in the end.
He didn't know that the Barret strike was on cooldown as well, so he just charged into them and just sacrificed them for the team, which is the greater good, but still, yeah. And I just want to mention about Schlinks. Just want to see if they're going to go towards Castaway now. It's going to escape, yeah. But Schlinks is silencer this game. You know, just being there all the time for the team fights. It's something different. He should have done it for the same thing on the Shadow Shaman last game, but you know, it's complete opposite for this one.
Man, but this is going to be really scary. Just look at the position of XTC. I mean, what are you playing with? Besides the fact that IO, his net worth is literally generated by some consumables and a magic wand. 600 net worth.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
It's crazy. But even looking at his stand, he hasn't completed his Midas. This is a 1-position Razor. Still hasn't completed his Midas with almost 14 minutes in. Sanking sure has picked up that Blink Dagger, which is handy. But even on Depi, he's got nothing. He's still working towards that 4-star. Probably you're looking for the Hurricane Pike. But
yeah, it's going to be too late when he gets 14 minutes in. Only has null talismans. He's got his Q on the Rod of Atos recipe, which shows that he's going to try to go for that for
going in once more onto this back right, and they are just crumbling our XTC. I mean, WRG destroying what once was a very hopeful looking XTC lineup. Depi needing some sort of magic from someone, maybe the Blink Dagger on this Dota and Die. Sanking could give them some opening, but even then it does not look positive. XTC against the barrel of a very loaded WRG gun right now.
Yeah, what they should do is, I don't know, I feel like they should defend this, but not really. Epicenter is available, and Sanking has a Blink Dagger, so they're going to need to get a team fight going and win it as well in order to make something happen.
If not now, when? I mean, you really find yourself in a position with the holy grail, as I like to call it, of Dota has been completed. Your 3 cores are the 3 top net worths in the game. When you have that, you're just generally about to find yourself one map up. And in this case, there is no tomorrow. To win this one, they, of course, will be your VS Gaming Dota 2 Masters champions. And then Castaway catches out a couple here on the sideline with the Dream Core. They're going to charge in. Don't die low. He's brought down. They're going to pick up at least the IO and the Sanking for free. They get the duel up as well as the background. Deppy standing tall, but it's draining as much damage as possible from Shidawi. But in the end, it is a 3-for-1 trade, as well as a tower going down.
Phew, just doesn't work in the favor of XTC. The Batrider is meant to pick up 1 or 2 heroes, but it doesn't.
Castaway still wants in. He just walked back in, did a lot of damage to Deppy. Does get supported out by Doom Bunny, though. Castaway realizes it's time to back off. In the end, gets out. But just look at the ridiculous confidence they're playing with at the moment.
Yeah, and that's where you needed the Batrider. Batrider died, and so early in the fight that he couldn't pick off any heroes, but you can't really pick off heroes if the whole team of WRG is just charging towards you, looking for the fights. Like that Dream Coil that you saw earlier, to initiate that, it was just well done by Castaway. So smoke, yeah?
Yeah, they do smoke up. They in fact only now really have the IO level 6 as well, so I know they gang. I don't know how they kill somebody. I guess you gang for a support at this point, just get some numbers ticking. But 416, 14k net worth advantage to the boys from WRG at the moment. And it's going to take some sort of a miracle. Nothing short of a miracle for WRG to almost lose this one. I feel like they have to lose it. I don't even feel like XTC can win it without WRG making some absolutely horrendous mistakes.
Yeah, it's super one-sided right now for the early game stages. Welp has his Lincoln Spear as well, so you can't really lasso him. And yeah, Deppy's just forced to stay by the tower. There's 2 supports there behind him, but can't really do anything with Weaver that's just over-farmed right now compared to XTC.
Really, Addisam has completed his Midas, which means that the man who, as I understand, picked up the 3rd fastest Radiance on his Lone Druid.
Yeah, it was 15 minutes and 55 seconds, by the way.
That's on this patch, brother. That's comparatively to the international statistics.
Great stats.
Just bear in mind we're playing against sides that do compete in European tournaments as well at a pretty high level.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive that he was able to do so. But right now we're talking about that same man literally completing pretty much a 15-minute Midas.
Yeah, it's a huge contrast there. Being charged, Scarnet in trouble here. He doesn't have anything else, but he's 17 charges on the 1. But
that's it, the last minute. Can they make something else? Addisam will drain a lot of damage from Santo. But he does manage to net on the back lines onto Don't Die. He should still go down. Burrow Strike connects, and they will find that finally find a kill, in fact, on that Spirit Breaker.
There was just Santo overextending once again. He doesn't have any teammates. We saw similar stuff like that when he was playing on this Kunker the last game or 2. Just overextends.
Roshan now next thing under the blade of WG. And there's no way that XTC have any interest in picking a fight with him right now. This Roshan is probably the most free we'll see in a long time, and of course, it's almost certainly that of this tournament.
Yeah, and now it's giving it to the Weaver as well. Now it's just super hard to kill. He's got his Lincolns. He's getting his Desolator as well, and also you need to kill him twice. You can't forget Castaway as well.
He's got the time lapse as well, so it feels like even more than twice.
Yeah.
Feels like a bridge that's just way too fast. 16k now the lead for WG. Santo going to charge through onto the top lane.
I heard a cat. Excuse me, must be my ears. But yeah, it's 16-5, excuse me, 90 minutes in, and so far, you mentioned it's OD sitting on 5.3k net worth, and then about the same for the Razor as well, and there's nowhere they can go. The lanes are now pushing out, and you still have Welp just farming up, can't really catch up with them, and Castaway sitting on 10k net worth. He's looking for kills as well. There's an enemy jungle with Chidawi, so anyone caught out over there is just going to be deleted.
It's cool, in fact, spot out Santo here, pings him out immediately. I don't even think they have the they just don't have the damage to bring down this Spirit Breaker alone. I mean, even Deppy would have to commit a huge amount to force someone out, and at the moment, the forceful players coming from WG who are in this bottom lane, I think they are pretty keen to start breaking the base, and of course the dreams and hopes of the XTC as well. Top laner, Santo will in fact go toe-to-toe with Scarlet, and this ultimate better count, because they will bring down the Spirit Breaker, but that is a support, and you commit a lot to it. So do they manage to hold out here against WG without that lasso available? Then Deppy still wants a piece of it. Well, of course, with that Aegis. pretty keen to stick around and fight. But Castaway heads over towards the mid lane, just to keep pressure coming in from all angles. Bottom lane, Wolf does take quite a bit of damage here, will be rooted as well. Does use the time lapse. Shadawi, he wants a piece, goes in. South Astral though buys a bit of time. But is it enough time? Trying to get out of harm's way, but he won't be able to do so. Great burst strike comes through onto 3, but it's not enough. 3 coil. Commit by Castaway. At a stamp, trying to beat down onto Wolf. Charge also coming through on a revive. Spirit Breaker. As Adestam gets a lot of chip damage in, they're going to commit once more with Scarlet. And a huge amount of damage comes out from Shadawi. That is just a spell. That is how far they are ahead at the moment. And it's going to be 2 for nothing in the end. They do pick up the Aegis, bear in mind. But look at Castaway. Tosses up the New York, will pick up the IO as well. And wouldn't be surprised if we see the GG any second, because at the moment, there is nothing in it for XTC other than short respawn timers.
In before Caster's Curse. It's going to reach like an 18-minute game, XTC to come back. Yeah, but realistically speaking, yeah, you're right. It's quite difficult right now. Depi was, Depi ran over the line, died first, and then there was basically a 4v5 from there. And then, yeah, it's just going crashing towards it.
Re-engage on the front. Castaway takes quite a bit of damage. One phase shift out there, and the charge comes in onto Depi. Well, still fighting from Santo, gets off a 3 pieces of engagement there now. Scarnet's going to go down to the duel as well. Shadawi still staying strong. It's another 2 for nothing so far. They're going to forget to stand up on the sidelines, and now they commit to this tier 3 tower. The IO coupled up with Dogan died, desperate to stay alive. Well, he doesn't care. Castaway goes in. The Barrow Strike comes through, but they pick up 2. It's 5 down from the side of XTC, and WRG are standing strong one more time here as they start deleting what once was the XTC rats, and they're going to turn their attention to the mid lane now. And any second we may see the end.
Batrad is alive. Welp still has the Aegis, so he's allowed to overextend. I mean, just that Desolator that's doing a lot of work right now, especially with the help of the rest of the teammates there. But yeah, Sand King's coming back, so they can potentially do something. No epicenter. Oh wait, there is an epicenter. Excuse me for that.
Takes a lot of damage there, but this is most likely the final stand of XTC. So close, taking 2 games in a row off WRG, an act truly impressive in itself. But right now, it is just unreasonable to think that they could possibly come back from this position.
Yeah, well, Aegis is up, so can't really go on the Weaver. And Castaway, you know, he's just super ahead right now, sitting on level 17. Doom Bunny on level 7. I mean, it's just falling behind. It's, you know, as a support even, you're going to need to, with that network, it's just not working out for them.
It's actually crazy at the moment. I mean, it's starting to look like, I mean, we could see very, very easily in the next few minutes that the entire lineup of WG will have a high net worth in all of their opposition. Only the Spirit Breaker at the moment behind anyone, and that's the 2 main cores. Bottom lane, the charge is out onto Depi, though he does have some support. In fact, we'll cancel it out.
Yeah, the Spirit Breaker, Santo likes to overextend over a lot. I mean, taking the 1v1s, hopefully, actually. But yeah, XTC guys are bonding up together, hoping to grab 1 or 2 heroes from here as well. But Adestam is getting his Blade Mail soon. Could be a change. It's unlikely, but it's getting, you know, getting something out of it.
The shrine brought down by WG in the top area of the map as well. Signal the sign for the final push here. Roshan's still a fair amount away. I don't know if they even need it. Whelp is monstrous, heading towards the Skadi as well. Completed that Deso, looking absolutely unbeatable right about now. And it does look like this could be it, ladies and gentlemen. WG up into the high ground. Whelp starts plugging away at this tier 3 tower. Scarnet desperate for something desperate here to defend. Whelp still staying the high ground. Has the Lincoln Sphere activated on himself. Just going to keep the pressure up. No
sneaking a little
opportunity for these sides to get out of here.
Yeah, they want to go to the upfield, but also trying to bait out 1 or 2 XTC players. So as soon as they overextend, for example, like right now,
they're going to pull back. The Weaver, but so much damage comes up. Backdrive destroyed and a stab down. Backdrive finally falls. They're going to get the root up on his Depi. South Astral comes in. Santo on the front lines trying to help out, but don't die to get off the reasonable epi. Santo trying to walk out of this. Castaway comes back in. There's a lot of damage being done. Godlike on Castaway, and now the buybacks are coming in from the don't die. SK gets off a really good double barrel strike. They will pick up another, but they still have to deal with so much power coming through WG, who are bullying their way through. As Hastags low, Wolf on the sidelines getting absolutely demolished, and finally goes down. Deppy drops the hammer. It's not a big one though, as well picks up another. And Castaway and Whelp stand strong, 2-on-2, but it's a Batrider without an ulti and an SK without an ulti against a very strong looking lineup here. Well, Castaway in fact picks up one of those on the back lines, and now it's just one man standing, Skynet. What on earth can he possibly do to stop the hordes, the invasions? The buyback does come out though from Deppy. It's almost sealed their fate now, because Castaway does head towards the middle lane, still standing out here by himself. Will in fact phase shift out and back off. The damage once again done. Look at that net worth advantage, 30k at the moment.
Yeah, the Deppy had to buy back. I mean, Puck potentially could take on the Batrider 1v1 pretty easily as well. There's no lasso available. Firefly was already being used, but from then it's trouble. And also that buyback actually pushed Deppy back quite a bit with the gold.
Man, I'm not even going to ask about this. This is just a matter of time. We have a very silent crowd right about now. I know a lot of the XTC supporters would be very, very bleak, but once more, WG, they have everything they want. This is actually ridiculous. 17k net worth on the Puck. He has 10k more than his opposite number, Deppy.
Yeah, it's just the early game didn't work out for him, eh? When you saw the Spirit Breaker kept charging him again and again, can't really do anything in the lane but tower hug, and then from then, still getting the kills off it. Addiston in trouble, yeah.
Castaway gets a pretty decent drink off. They go back and does manage to get the save. They root up Santo. Shadawi still wants in. They're all one in. They're going to get the ultimate off from the Batrider onto Shadawi. They're doing a lot of damage to him. But the epicenter comes to as well from Don't Die. It's pretty solid. Shadawi low. Shadawi will be brought down. But Hastags and the Io, they're also in a lot of trouble. Hastags, the back lines, well, going to town onto the Deppy OD, and they're going to break down another. There's 3 down. Castaway and Whelp attach themselves to the melee rats. Hastags, the back line's desperate, trying to bring down the swarm. Turns his attention to Schlink's going to force him out, but the damage is being done by Whelp, who still connects himself with those racks, and it's a godlike spree in fact for Castaway. The GG has been called, and once more WRG unbeatable in the end. They take down XTC, who tap out. One more time, WRG, your champions of the VS Gaming Dota 2 Masters. You can do nothing more than applaud absolute brilliance this time around. This game one-sided, and one team standing tall above them all. Reigns?
Yeah, that was great. Brilliant show coming in for WRG in Game 5. I mean, the early game put on pressure on XTC, made sure that they won every single lane, and they did. Santo, being the MVP in the early game, just made sure that they pressure Deppy, they pressured Hastags even, made sure there was, what, 10 minutes? 4 deaths on the Razor. You can't have that as a carry, and with that, it just worked out so well, and White Rabbit made sure that they did win this tournament. It's impressive from them.
Emphatic style as well. It's got to be said. This was a side that was going against the momentum. XTC looking really good, taking 2 games. The drafts were solid. They performed well. They executed even better. But in the end, WG just, it's like they turned on. It's like they decided that now was their time.
Yeah.
They're giving enough opportunities for us all to get behind XTC, enough opportunities for us to enjoy some great Dota, some really enjoyable Dota.
That was very enjoyable indeed. The dream coils were always there. I think you caught at least 2 heroes every single time, and especially that fight just outside the mid lane for the tier 3 tower, that just called it. XTC couldn't come back from that, and especially at the end, when the Razor was the only hero alive, can't really do anything about that. You've got the Silencer, which is actually dealing damage on Schlinks, which is, you know, it's rare to see, and then you still have the Weaver and Puck in the top lane, and that was just, you know, you can't really do anything about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fantastic tournament as well. I think this is probably our opportunity to say goodbye to you all. So we'd like to thank everyone who tuned in on the stream. Of course, all the spectators who were here live and the teams as well who obviously entertained us so much. It's really, really great. I haven't been able to actually cast. I've been on the panel so much. And yeah. I mean, to come back to this kind of tournament, to cast these kind of games has been absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it's great to be back. It's good to cast with you. It's a nice series, huh?
Thanks very much, Reigns. Of course, that does mean we are saying our goodbyes. And once again, Been a pleasure, buddy. Thank you so much. And thanks to everybody, including VS Gaming themselves, who organized this event. I think that's it from us, guys. So we'll send it over back to the panel. Wilson, maybe a little bit bleak that he didn't get the win from XTC, but I'm sure happy with the quality of the Dota. Take it away, friend.
I am not in the slightest bit bleak, my friend. Maybe the two people who wrongly predicted are, but...
You nudged us towards it, but okay.
Man,
that was savage, I'm sorry.
we're not the ones that should be sad. That game was, it was rough.
No one could possibly be sad with that performance. No. But let's quickly jump over to Gareth as the winners are joining us on stage.
As you can hear, the crowd is giving their salutations to an absolutely amazing performance that came out from the guys from XTC. I think you guys can be very proud in taking it to a 5th game. And I mean, the first team to even take 1 map off WRG, and then the first team, I think, since over a year that's even taken 2 maps off them. So congrats to you guys. Obviously a little bit disappointed not to be able to go the whole way, though.
Yeah, I think if there wasn't a 1-game disadvantage, we could have given them a run for their money, definitely. It was pretty amazing. They're a phenomenal team, and we have to give it to them. We made a lot of progress since the previous tournament, and that's what matters to us, and I think we're definitely going to take them next time.
Yeah, I mean, the progress you guys made since last year is absolutely phenomenal. What would you chalk down that last game to? A lot of guys said that the draft is lacking a little bit something early game, and you maybe backing too much your chances into the late game.
It was definitely the Burrow pick, yeah.
Oh, the fact that you couldn't get it yourself this time. So you guys have obviously seen a lot of success with those very aggressive lineups, and we saw in that game 4, that super aggressive play, your guys really put the WRG on the back foot. And unfortunately, they used that tactic against you, it seemed, in that last game. But congrats very much to the guys. You're all really impressive, and I'm going to take this opportunity now to call on Cambridge and Johan from VS Gaming to hand over your runners-up medals. As the guys get their medals, if the crowd can just show their appreciation to a team that has really done so much in such a short period of time. Thanks, gentlemen. One last round of applause for your runners-up, XTC. And then if I can keep that applause going as XTC depart the stage, and I'm going to invite your champions for 2017, White Rabbit Gaming. We're just going to ask Ryan quickly for a quick interview. I suppose one thing we have to comment on, that little give and take between you and Dota and Die there with the Tranquils. Were you worried for a second when we went to Game 5 that Karma might be real?
I think that's the main reason we lost 2 games. I think Karma kind of struck back a bit, but it's all in good faith.
Yeah, a lot of fun being had, I guess, in the end. And I think if anyone's noticed anything, was that kind of unwoke the dragon for that last game, realizing that the aggressive early game was getting you guys on the back seat, and then when you showed the early aggression yourself, really dominated that last game.
Yeah, they played really well. Like, honestly, they figured a strat out to counter us, and it took us a bit long to react to it, but props to the XTC guys.
I suppose thankful for that 1 map advantage going to that final, but congrats either way. You are our champions, and I'm going to take an opportunity now to invite Cambridge and Johan again to hand over those gold medals. Of course, the medals are not all. We mustn't forget that illustrious trophy. If we want to get that trophy as well. Rob, if you'll do the honors of just handing that trophy over to Cambridge so he can look at it one last time before handing it over to your 2017 Masters Series champions, White Rabbit Gaming. There you go, folks. We're going to hand over to the panel one last time to close the stream. But from me, Gareth Woods, and from the rest of the guys on the stage, thank you very much for supporting.
Woo! Well, guys, it doesn't get better than this. We've got confetti everywhere. What a glorious, glorious game that was.
It was
WG
actually magic.
the way we know.
It was magic. It was from the get-go, minute 0, they were like, let's fight.
Yeah.
And let's not stop fighting until they lose. And the problem is that XTC had heroes that needed farm, needed space. They couldn't afford to be fighting from minute 0. WG did never give them the space to actually farm. So it was...
Yeah. Succubus, do you feel that this tight sort of grand final has something to say for the South African scene in general? And for the future of VS Gaming and all its players?
I think WG need to seriously reconsider what they do, because teams are catching up. Teams are catching up, guys. In the next event, we could see a crown a new champion. It almost happened today.
And of course, excuse me one moment, covered in confetti here, boys. It's beautiful. They are not the only winners. There are some winners sitting on stream at the moment. And his name, ladies and gentlemen, is Alex Fearbender Berger. He's won himself the Bladeform Legacy Bundle. Thank you for your support on stream. And one last thing. We asked everyone on stream for a poll on who they thought was the MVP of this tournament. Would you like to know the results?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah? Who is it?
10% said Chidawi for third place. Second place, on 11%, Depi.
Oh.
And first, by a landslide, 48%, goes only to...
Castaway.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Castaway, you still live very long, long life
The man,
in our hearts.
the legend, Castaway.
I'm actually surprised that they put him as... I feel like Santo just won them the tournament,
Well,
like by himself.
That remains to be argued, but not by this panel and not tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, and it's been an absolute privilege and honor bringing you this action. I cannot thank you all enough for all your support. I cannot thank VS Gaming for you sitting in the crowd. Stick around for more giveaways. For all of you down there in the stream, we love each and every one of you. From all of us, a damn good night.
Yes, thanks, crowd. We have a couple of giveaways left. Where is Kelly with the swag bag? How many we got left? 10. Okay, we've got 10 more prizes giveaways. So thanks for sticking around. Let's ask you some questions. Whose birthday is it today? Wilson. I saw some hands up there. Let's give them some swag. Okay, let's see. Who is the captain of WRG?